I realized that building a successful professional brand in the freelancer economy can be somewhat lonely and also seem to be taking a very long time for you to be taken seriously, to be appreciated, to be invited in the spaces that matter, and for your value sometimes to be understood or for you to be taken as important. And I do think that with 10 years of being in this game, I have figured out some ways that can help you get there faster. And I'm going to be sharing 4 tips that can help you get there quick. Hi guys, how are you doing today? Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. And today's video, I'm going to be titling it Some of the Fastest Ways to Build a Successful Professional Brand as a Freelancer in Uganda, but it could apply for you anywhere on the continent or in Africa. The first tip is attend your industry's social events. And when I say social events, I mean they don't have to be working events. I'll give you examples from the photography industry. We have an organization, should I call it an organization or entity called the Uganda Press Photo Awards. It organizes photography walks, photography talks. So the photography talks are like evenings where you go and just meet at Bush Pig as photographers, and then there will be one photographer who will present their work. So it's beneficial, it gives you professional value, but it's really a hangout where you ask questions and then you will have drinks, you'll have meat. That way you get to meet some of the people that you actually look up to in your industry in a very casual social setting where you can get their contact, you can pick their mind without having to make it very professional, sending emails and all that. So if you're a photographer, you'd look out for things like that, photography talk evenings. You'd look out for things like photography walk. The other thing is making time for drinks and fun with your colleagues. For example, during events like conferences or weddings, usually after the shoot, do not rush to go back home, right? Sometimes your colleagues stay behind as they pack their equipment and plot comes up to go somewhere for ice cream, for drinks, for food. Please give it an hour and just go hang out. You never know what to pick from there and what you learn from them. The other thing is attending things like award ceremonies. We had the Poate awards for the tourism industry. Those are things you should attend as a freelance creator because you're going to meet other creators, but most important, you meet the people that are funding your industry, the decision makers in your industry. You will also meet the people who are ahead of the program. So attend things like the award ceremonies, the conferences, the workshops, especially the ones that are open and free. URA organizes all these trainings for photographers, for content creators. Attend those things because of the people you're going to meet there. Number 2 is being part of fellowship and mentorship programs. Fellowships and mentorship programs are a bit long-term. They help you to build some of your most long-standing professional relationships in the industry. For example, most of my long-standing friends in the photography industry are people I met through the Young Photographer Award mentorship that is organized by the Uganda Press Photo Award. And these guys have stayed my friends for the last 10 years, but also they've become successful in their niche and in their work. So because of that, you end up in a place where years later you have access to some of the creme de la creme of your industry because you met them through mentorship programs. I've been part of the Young Photographers Award mentorship program. I've been part of the DW Academy mentorship program. I've been part of the Canon mentorship program. Like, there are all these mentorship programs and the relationships you meet along the way that stay with you forever. Number 3 is find your villages. You know that saying about how in order for you to be part of a village, you must be a villager and participate as one. It's also true when you're building your brand. And your villages do not necessarily have to be related to the work that you do. They can be villages in the different areas where you need help, where you're interested. For example, I'm part of a community called the Hassan Society, that is by Audrey Tumwene. It's a society about women and finances and investment and growing financially. And in those circles like that, you get to meet your clients, you get to meet decision makers in different places where you are. You get to meet people who are working like in URA, people who are working like in URSB. You get to meet mothers who are giving birth to children and they might be your clients if you have a studio, things like that. So join those communities because they're going to give you information and knowledge about topics that you need in your brand, but you may not know anything about, because you can't teach yourself everything. When you're building a freelance brand, usually you're a one-man team. That means that you're the finance person, the operations person, the lawyer, the everything, the legal guy. So when you're part of different communities like the Rotary Club, financial clubs, gym club, all these things, you will meet people that offer the services and knowledge that you need but may not have, but is important for your brand. So find your villages. They could be related to what you do, they may be outside what you do, but they're in areas that you need. Find those villages and participate in them. Number 4 is be an active member in your local community. By local community, I mean the village where you stay, that Kalito village. Like for example, you stay in Entebbe, Katabi, or you stay in Makere, Kavule, or you stay in, I don't know where, Gayaza something. Find that local village where you are and be relevant in that village. The quickest ways to make yourself relevant in the local communities is either through church, community sports, volunteering at a health center. By volunteering, I don't mean that you're going to go and offer free medical services, but you can offer the service that you do. For example, in my village back in Bududa, the local church knows that I document their Christmas services every time I'm in the village. What that does for you is that it puts you in a place where any time I have, let's say, a serious project to document, I don't need to have a lot of papers to introduce myself as a photographer in my community or for people to trust me. They already trust me because I'm valuable and relevant in the community. So sometimes that local community will come in handy so many times. And also for people who are, let's say, doing stories, like storytellers, visual storytellers, you're doing videos, you're doing photos. The thing that will help you also have work that is outstanding, that is different from other people, whether you're into beauty photography or documentary, whatever it is, sometimes it's just access to certain spaces, you know, the road, the market woman, the pitch in the village. And you can't have access to those things unless you intentionally choose to be part of that local community and be active in a way that is valuable, stay relevant, and let your local community know you. If you have the budget for it, staying relevant in your local community can look like what they call corporate social responsibility in the corporate world. But if you don't have the budget for it, your presence, your skill is enough to give you a buy-in in terms of being relevant in your community. So just to summarize the 4 points that we've covered on some of the ways you can quickly build a professional brand. 1, attend the social events in your industry. Be part of fellowships and mentorships, especially the ones that are long-term. Find your villages is number 3. And then number 4, find a way to be relevant in your local community. Let me know if these are things you're already doing and practicing, or which of them you're going to adopt, because building a successful brand as a freelance person is more than just your technical knowledge. It's also making sure that you're relevant in the city where you're operating. That's it from me, and see you in the next episode. Bye.